Hi everybody, it's Martin the Flick My Feathers again today, and I'm tying you, or I'm showing you how to tie just a Velcro crab. Fairly simple fly, but a bit time consuming. So I'll be tying quite a big batch of these for myself and some other people. I'll be tying them 4s, 2s and 1/0. But I'm just going to show you how to get the hook ready first. So this is a size 4. It's a Gamakatsu SL11 3H. And I'm just starting on some tan or cream coloured dumbbells, flat wax nylon. And on the these size 4s, I'll be putting medium lead eyes. You could go bigger or smaller depending on where you're fishing. Where I'll be fishing these, I know that I need a fair bit of weight to stop them tumbling. You know, you want your crab pinned down. If it's too light, it'll tumble about if the current's a bit strong. So just figure out on your lead dumbbells in the middle of the shank, right? If you're tying a bigger one, you can see here I've got a size 2 with a double set of dumbbell eyes. And then the 1/0 will be using a crushed sinker, and I'll mix some tungsten powder into the epoxy. Flip the hook, and then we can tie in the weed guard. Excuse me. It's got a length of about 2.5 inches of 20-pound hard nylon. I fold it in half, and I'm going to pinch the fold so that it's nice and tight, and I'm just going to flatten it just the first 2 or 3 mil. Then I'll put the fork around, so there's a sprig each side of the hook, and I'll just lash that down. Put a couple of turns behind, just to help sort of encourage it to stand up, and then whip finish. Always whip finish twice on my saltwater flies. And I know these are going to be bouncing about coral and stuff, so the double whip finish is just a wee bit of extra security. And then, as always, just get some cement on those whippings, and that's it, right? That's the hook's ready. Everything else will be done off the vise, so we'll go over to my bench and I'll show you the rest of the procedure. So we're at the bench, and I'm just going to fit the body to the hook. So I've grabbed my weed guard and I've pulled it forward to give myself some room, and then pull the backing off the Velcro if it's adhesive back, and then all I want to do is I'll get the crab body, we'll stick it in here. You don't need to add any extra adhesive or anything, it's just only needs to be enough to hold it temporarily. So I'll position that in there, tight to the weed guard, right, so that the coin is hard against the weed guard. Pull the weed guard back to trap it, and push it into the slit in my foam block there. And obviously I'll just continue until I've filled my foam. Then we can come back and look at fitting the legs. Alright, so I've got the bodies ready, and I've just already done one just to give you an idea where we're going. And now I'll just fit the claws. So I've got just chenille claws. Just, you can check my video on how to make chenille crab claws. It's very easy. And you could buy them, but they're very expensive for a couple of pieces of knotted chenille. I think they're about, I know EP does them, but I just can't bring myself to pay like $6 for 6 inches of chenille. So I've trimmed these to length. I'll just press them onto the Velcro. Right, the adhesive that's on there is enough to hold them for now. Then I'll get my legs. Just knot up a big bunch of these, and then sometimes you need to trim them. Just to make them sort of fit better. You can just use your scissor tip to push them in. Same on the other side. You don't need to get them exactly even, you know, as long as they're sort of close enough, you know, that's fine. You don't need a perfect match either side. I mean, crabs move, you know, they're not just cookie cutter things, so you don't need to be too obsessive when it comes to this. Right, so that's 2 claws, 6 legs. Eyes next. These are EP eyes. I ran out of my own, so I had to just make a quick dash to the shop. But you can use whatever you like. So just cut these so they've got some 2 short, just little short tabs. And I'll just do the same as I've done before with everything else. I'll just press them in. Shorten that a wee bit more just to help it fit. There we go. And then just the last thing, again this is sort of optional, but I just like a wee sort of representation of the mouth parts. So I'm just using some hackle fibre. It's just taken from the back of like a cheap Indian hackle, cheap Indian cape. Same as everything else, just trim it to size. Press it in. And then I'm going to just do the exact same thing with a couple of bits of crystal flash. Which again, if you wish, you can leave this out. Oops. You know, there's nothing as compulsory. So, there's two bodies. So I'll get and they're now ready for epoxy. And I prefer to use epoxy rather than UV resin for these, because your UV resin is not an adhesive, whereas obviously the epoxy is. Like that. So when I mix the epoxy, oops. I always like to add a few drops of white nail polish. Don't go crazy, but just a small amount. Oops. If you add too much, it won't. Your epoxy will be really runny. It'll take forever to set. Right, so when you've got that thoroughly mixed, just come in and coat the bottom. And you need to watch you don't put too much on, or it will run away off the body. I generally give them 2 coats. So there's one. Get the second one. You can see you can still sort of manipulate the material, get it to sit the way you want it. I mean, because this is your last stage of any flexibility. I mean, once this epoxy goes off, that's it. You know, you're stuck with the shape that you've made. So there you go, that's the epoxying done. I will give them another coat, but I don't think we need to put that on video. And when we're done, the last thing is just to come in and paint up the legs, or colour them up with a felt pen. So we'll be back in a wee while to do that. The crabs are all done, they're all epoxied up. They've had two coats of epoxy on the belly there. You can see nice and clear, nice and clean, sorry, smooth. I've done larger crabs there with a lead eye, two lead eyes, sorry, for the weight on the belly. It's a size 2. You can see the crab's quite a bit bigger, and I've used chenille, micro chenille for the legs. If I went to 1/0, I'd just use the standard velvet chenille, just to sort of keep things sort of in proportion with the body. But it's entirely up to you, you can be flexible. So the last thing is, I'm just going to get the fly ready basically to fish, which is, I'm going to trim the weed guard, so it's just slightly longer than, that reaches just beyond the point of the hook. You can sort of splay them and whatever. They'll probably get a wee bit out of shape in your box, but you can just pull them back. And then the last thing is to colour the claws and legs, should you wish to. You don't necessarily have to. So just sit it in a pad of paper. This is just post-its. Hit it with a, this is a Copic marker, but anything will do, Sharpies. Any sort of waterproof pen. Oops. And then we're coming with the legs. I've got a sort of a tan zebra marker here. Just stripe the legs. Don't need to be too fussy. And if you want, you can dot the top. Anything really, it's your fly. Just colour them to suit the crabs and where you fish. And then just finish it off. We'll just trim these legs just to, and then you have it. Velcro crab. Really good little pattern. It's a bit time consuming, but it's better if you tie up a batch rather than just try to do 1 or 2. But well worth a place in your box, catches a range of species. So I hope that was useful. Hope you enjoyed it. If it was and you did, don't forget to give me a thumbs up below and subscribe to the channel. Tight lines, guys. Bye.